Okay.
We are live.
Yeah, you
On this,
still got a little bit of a issue here, but that's all right. Let's see how it all plays out.
okay. On this Life is Good in Chester County podcast, I'm your host, Bipin Chandriani, and I have with me today Dr. Jeff Chamberlain, who is going to talk about importance of having a health cabinet to boost your immune system. Welcome to the show, Dr. Chamberlain.
Hello, Bipin. Good to see you again. Always
Yeah,
glad to be
nice
on
to
your
see you.
show.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back. We want to talk about why you recommend having a health cabinet instead of a medicine cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell us
So you got a little
why?
bit of a delay, and I missed that question.
Okay, I know you highly recommend having a health cabinet to turbo
100%.
boost system. Why do you say that is important than over a medicine cabinet?
Yep. So the reason why I recommend having a health cabinet as opposed to a medicine cabinet is because a health cabinet is going to have those things in it that enhance your body's healing potential, where most people's medicine cabinet is full of things that just suppress symptoms and don't actually make you more healthy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what would you consider? What items would you consider to be an integral part of your health cabinet?
Well, I want to make sure that I have something that's going to kill any initial bacteria, right? So I always have silver in my health cabinet. So, for example, this is a bottle of silver that I just went in my health cabinet and grabbed for our show. So I can gargle with this. I can spray it in my nose. You know, people are getting all the runny noses and the snotty noses and congestion. This is a great tool with a little bottle. It's a spray nose bottle. You know, you could have that next to your bedside, and your nose gets all dry and you can't breathe at night, and so you can't sleep, so your immune system goes down. You just take this, takes care of everything, no side effects, no nothing, and it helps the body heal the mucous membranes, right? So that's one of my staples. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So immune system, we've talked about this in your last class. Congoplex and Immuneplex by a company called Standard Process. Man, does this stuff eat up strep, bacteria, viruses? Just nails it. Within 24 hours, you hit this real hard, 24 hours, you're going to wake up the next day like you never had it. And then the last thing we use that's a staple, and we have a lot of things in our cabinet, peppermint essential oil. And another essential oil called Digest. Peppermint is great for headaches, head tension, knocks it right out within 15 minutes. Digest, if you got a little stomach stuff going on, you just roll this on your stomach. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. It takes that pain away and takes that gassy, bloaty feeling away. 10 minutes. It's amazing. So those are just the basic staples for things that most people deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can provide that information on the podcast at the end of the show, so our viewers can check them out. What are other factors?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, be glad to give you
affect.
That affects people's immune systems. Factors are like, everybody knows this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Stress. Stress is a major factor. So, you know, your diet is a major factor. Sugar that you put in your diet, the chemicals that are in your foods that you don't even know about that suppress your immune system. Those are some of the basics, I would say, the chemicals and the like, for example, anything that you can't pronounce or that you don't know what it is, when you look at the ingredients in your food, it's going to suppress your immune system. It's a 98%er. So start to get back to the ground, start to get back to Mother Nature and what God gave you. And you can find those foods everywhere now, or there are people in your community that are doing that. Connect with them. You know?
Yeah. Now, you go to the grocery store and pick up a loaf of bread, and it has like 25, 30, 40 ingredients. You don't even know why you need more than the basic stuff. A lot of preservatives and a lot of chemicals to, and that is what you're referring to, right?
Yeah. I mean, the old saying goes, when you go to a grocery store, stay on the perimeter. When you stay on the perimeter, that's where the foods from the earth come from. All the stuff in the aisles in between, some of them may not be that toxic, but just the packaging's toxic, so there's just a lot of things to think about in a very, very toxic environment. The more you clean that up, the more you can get back to God's design,
Right. Now, you were talking about the factors that weaken our immune system. Let us briefly summarize 2 or 3 main factors. You mentioned stress and sleep and the food. Anything else we are missing?
Yeah, stress and diet was one of the main things, right? So, and I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. So what would you like me to jump in on that? Like, how can we mitigate some of those factors?
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about stress. So stress is interesting, right? So let's look at the word intention. You are an intentional guy, Mr. Bipin. I am an intentional guy. So we have intention to do something. So we have to be in a state of tension. That's also stress. That's good stress. But when we feel out of control and we feel like we don't understand and we're afraid of losing something, that's negative stress that actually changes your biochemistry and actually breaks down cell walls, things of that nature. So how do you handle that? How do you mitigate that? You have to first slow down in any situation, take a couple deep breaths and say, okay, how am I going to react to this? What is in the greater good in this situation? You may not be able to control it, which is the worst type of stress. So decide, I'm not going to control it. I'm going to do the one thing I know I can do that's in the greater good in this situation. That's the best way to handle stress. Everyone watching is going to say, well, yeah, that's easy. You don't know my boss or you don't know my family. We all have our stuff, but making sure that we're staying focused on what we can control, which is the serenity prayer. If anyone knows the serenity prayer, go read that. It's a perfect example. Just do the things you can control and everything else will fall into line. So that mitigates some of that stress right there. Was that helpful?
Absolutely. And what are some of the daily habits that we can adopt to turbo boost our immunity and turbo boost our wellness?
Yeah, I'm gonna say movement right away. So movement is something we do not do as a society anymore. Now, you walk every day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're always moving. Yeah. So everyone should be out in the environment, breathing fresh air, getting sun on their face for at least 20 minutes. That movement is exponentially important to your immune system, to your mental health, to your spiritual health. So movement's one of the first things I would say. Water is the second thing I would say, Okay. So in our office, we always talk about my job is to remove interference with your nervous system that actually makes everything communicate better. That's true. But that's something you have to come to my office for, and so on and so forth. The things you can do don't cost you anything, right? Go out and walk, breathe the fresh air, and drink plenty of clean water. Those three things alone, coupled with removing interference in your nervous system, you're 80% ahead of the entire population.
Right. I know you, in your
one.
in your education sessions, you always talk about breathing, deep breathing, and mindfulness, and eating right are some of the
Yeah. So the last one would be like once you're out there and getting in the environment and walking, getting your breath work up, and getting sunshine on your face and drinking plenty of water, you gotta eat right. And eating right is a habit. It's not hard. It's just a habit. And I have the one theory. You've heard me talk about this. The one theory is that you take one thing that you know you're putting in your body that you shouldn't, and stop it. And then you take one thing you know you should put in your body and put it in. So now you're exchanging a bad for a good. Do that for 30 days. Then do the next one. A year from now, you're going to be so different. You're going to be eating so different. You're going to be out in the environment. You're going to notice that you are actually younger than you were a year ago.
Right. Now, what other natural items like herbs and nutritional items that you can incorporate as part of your daily habits, or some that can become part of the health cabinet besides the one you already talked about?
Now we have what's called a health cabinet, which is usually in a bathroom or in our pantry. And then there's the other health cabinet, which is your kitchen in general, right? So someone who drinks every morning warm water with lemon, fresh organic lemon, that alone is another, like lemons have enzymes that boost your immune system. Lemons actually help the liver detoxify, right? Most of us are toxic soup. So we wonder why we're getting sick every year, 2-3 times a year. It's because your system is so bogged down and so clogged. It's very difficult for the body to work properly. Taking care of your liver and really being conscious of cleaning your liver is an important thing. There are a lot of ways to do that quickly. There's ways to do it over time. Drinking water in the morning with half a squeezed lemon in there, that's a great way to, on an everyday basis, get your immune system up, help to clean your liver out, or at least keep it be healthy. That's one thing I would say. Do you want another one? Apple cider vinegar.
Absolutely.
Apple cider vinegar, super easy, right? You want to try to get apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it, all the things you see floating around in there. People are like, oh, what is this? That's the important part, right? So you want to do, even if you did a little shot of apple cider vinegar every day, you're going to actually help your stomach have the right pH. You're going to help to keep your immune system up, because immune system is all about your pH. That's another class you and I could do together right in and of itself. It's got 19 of the 21 minerals your mucous membranes need. I mean, we could go on and on about apple cider vinegar. So that's a staple that should be in your house as well.
And then I know you always talk about ginger and turmeric and
absolutely
all those good stuff that my green tea is not complete without.
That's right. And it's so easy and it's so abundant, right? Yes. We can get good organic ginger at Wegmans or any of our grocery stores typically. Just shave a little bit of that in your tea or in my like a lot of times I'll do a shake. I put it in there. Get the powdered turmeric, which again, you can get there's so many places where you can get really good organic powdered turmeric. By
Right.
the way, be careful though, it does stain. It's very yellow and does stain, but
Right.
it's amazing for the body, and it's an anti-inflammatory,
Absolutely.
which most sick
You know,
people are
yeah.
highly inflammatory.
Right. I actually use the organic green turmeric. So it is like ginger. I chop it up and use it in my green tea, my smoothie, which has which is even better than
Yeah.
the turmeric powder.
Yeah. It kind of gets to it quickly.
Yes, yes.
Curcumin and turmeric and all that stuff, that has to have a process to biochemistry.
Right. Now, so
It's
these
also
are
heart health. There's so many good benefits of.
absolutely. So these are all some of the components of your health cabinet. How often do
Yes.
you want to take stock of it and make any changes as may be necessary?
Well,
Ingredients
I think,
change.
I think, yeah, it takes time to put it together, but once you put it together, most of it also is going to be more of a natural nature. So you're just going to have to pay attention to, is it expiring? Is it not expiring? I would say quarterly, you should go through it.
Mhm. And
Because if you have something in your health cabinet and it's not expiring, you don't want it.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of your best tips to help boost our immune system with our daily diets? I know we talked about avoiding sugar and
Yeah, it's really simple, Bipin. Those things I said are what I would go back to. My biggest tips are stay away. Listen, I have an old saying: if man made it, you got a really good chance it's going to screw your body up. If God made it, you got a very good chance it's going to enhance your design. So, again, the water is important. Now, not smart water, not vitamin water, none of that, excuse my expression, crap. You want to make sure you're getting good, clean water. If you have a filter system at home, great. You could get a Brita filter and then put a little bit of sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, in your water, and that helps ionize your body, helps alkalize your body, right? Making sure you're getting that in is probably the biggest one. And then making sure you're not putting the bad stuff in and then moving the body. Those are just really the three things that I talk about every single day. And although it's extremely boring, nobody still does, not nobody, few people actually do it. Right? You know this. I stretch every day. I'm always moving my body. I'm always drinking at least 100 ounces of clean, crisp water. I'm always doing mindful breathing. I do those things, and I constantly get compliments when they find out how old I am. They can't believe it, and it's nice to hear. But really, I want to be 100 and still doing things like this.
Right.
I want to be playing with my grandchildren. I want to be actually skiing if I can at 100, right? And not worried about falling and breaking my hip. So
right. Yeah. And then you also talk about avoiding ultra processed foods, which is again man-made.
You just don't know now. This has been bad for the last 50 years, but in the last 10, it's exponentially bad, because this is a whole class you and I could do too.
Yeah.
If you understand the food industry, right, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of food companies. Understand that 99% of them are owned by the same 3 companies. And then when you really do your research, you find all 3 of those companies are actually the same company. So our food supply is controlled for high profit. And we all know that sick people make a lot of money. Healthy people don't make a lot of money for the system.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also that factor, not to get controversial here, but the factor is, the sicker they are, the more money we're going to make. So the more you go back to Mother Nature and avoid these packaged products and avoid all the chemicals and the plastics and the just unbelievable stuff in them, the healthier your body will be, because it's going to be synergistic with the earth. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We should be synergistic with our environment. Can't do that with artificial stuff.
Right. And I like what you said. When you go to a supermarket, just walk around the periphery of the store, internal periphery, and you will get the most natural food.
That's right.
And avoid anything that has been altered, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because something that can stay longer outside the fridge is full of preservative, then you definitely want to avoid them.
Yes. And when you look at your produce, there's numbers on there. A lot of people watching probably know this, because if they're watching your show, they want to be healthy. So they're probably aware of some of this. If that little SKU number starts with a 9, I wouldn't eat it. If it starts with a 4, I would. Right. Because that's what shows you that it's organic versus something that's been put on a truck and made to last on the truck for weeks, right? And yet still look good.
Yeah, and I had read somewhere that if any food item is advertised on TV or radio, stay away from it, because those are synthetic, those are artificially made, because fresh produce is never advertised on TV.
Correct. Well, just think about this a second. How much does it cost to advertise on TV? Millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
So, whatever they're advertising, it's got to have a high profit margin. Therefore, it can't go, they can't grow it and then get it out to somebody within a week, because they got to make sure it stays and they can make big amounts of them and they can last longer. And you know what I mean? So just follow the money. It's anytime you have a question, follow the money. That'll show you everything you need to know,
Right. I think we covered a lot of information that our viewers can adopt to. We have actually a viewer. One of our viewer is asking questions.
Okay, sure.
Maurice Loriano, thank you for joining.
Hi, Maurice.
And he's asking, I don't know, 9 versus 4. Is it the 9 or number 9 starts?
Yeah, you look at a produce and it has a little sticker on it, and that may say 94062 as opposed to a 4012. 9 is just regular old genetically altered produce versus a 4 is more organic. If it starts with a 4, it's organic. If it starts with a 9, it could be a genetically modified produce.
Okay, great.
Great question.
Yeah. Hey, Maurice, thank you very much for joining. Please do come back and join us. So I think we have provided some great information, and we will be back again 1 month from now to talk
Mhm.
about other nutrition topics.
Yeah.
So please join us, and thank you very much for joining me today, Dr. Chamberlain, and sharing some great tips with our viewers.
Always my pleasure, Bipin.
Thank you.